This is the number one business destroyer. Your business will go as far as this allows it. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Mind Engineer community. Here, Tommy Walker sharing insight and tools about business and mindset. One of the things that I've seen along all these years, I've been an entrepreneur now for 29 years, more or less, and studying the mind and behavior for 17 years, working with thousands of people around the world, is that most people spend 99% of the times in things that, although seem they're going to get their business off the ground, it doesn't. And if you feel that you're one of those, that you're trying sales scripts, you change from one product to another, from one service to another, you keep trying different things, but nothing seems to work. You reach out to people, you put videos on there, and nothing seems to work. This is for you. Because as I said at the beginning, this is the number one business destroyer, and has nothing to do with the content you're doing. It has nothing to do with the offer. It has nothing to do with all these external things that could affect your business. Don't get me wrong, but the number one business destroyer is what most people don't talk about: your mind. It is the narratives, the programs that are deeply hidden in the subconscious mind that you're not even aware of. I work every week with people that are stuck in their life, in their business, trying to move forward, and they always have great, amazing excuses why they're not moving forward. It could be the economy, it could be, their parents, it could be their partners, it could be their children because, they're taking a lot of time with their children. They always have an excuse of what's going on. But as they open up to this process of compassionate exploration to start finding what's going on inside of us, and I say compassionate exploration because we need to start exploring the subconscious mind, as Carl Jung says all the time, or said all the time, sorry, is if you don't make conscious what is in the subconscious mind, what is in the subconscious mind is going to run your life, and you're going to call it destiny. And this is what happens to most people. They're thinking that the problem is external, and they're not looking inwards. In 95% of the cases, if you're not being able to move forward, if you're not putting videos out there, if you're not talking to people, if you're not making sales, if you're not struggling in some area of your business, start with mindset. If you're falling into self-sabotage, procrastination, perfectionism, analysis paralysis, any of those things that you might be seeing are just symptoms of something deeper. The mind is trying to protect you from pain. Yes, the mind, soul's purpose, its only purpose is to protect you from pain. Main solving, the main reason is it wants to protect you from pain because it doesn't know how to deal with it. And I use this analogy to help people understand. Imagine if when we were kids, we were taught that if you start doing walking, running, doing some type of exercise, and your muscle ached, that you had to stop because your life was in risk, your life was in danger. Imagine that. Imagine that you would have felt that your life was in danger if you had muscle pain. Nobody would be fit at all, because if we would have been taught that that is bad, and we stopped doing it, we would have a problem nowadays. The thing is, they have taught you that with your emotional world. The mind has learned that feeling negative emotions is the worst thing, the most threatening thing there is. So what happens is when you start trying to do stuff for your business, is going to bring negative feelings up to the surface. They're already in there, but they're going to come to the surface. You're going to feel insecurity. You're going to feel, lack of confidence. You're going to feel low self-esteem. You're going to feel uncertainty. You're going to feel all these negative things. And unfortunately, as you were never taught how to navigate them, your mind is going to try to escape. As your mind tries to escape, you're going to stop doing what you need to do for your business. This is what was the main thing that was holding me back with my business when I started. When I started, and I started 29 years ago with different businesses, nothing seemed to work till finally later on something started working, but it really launched in 2009 when I started doing this inner work to really believe in myself, trust in myself, and throw myself all out there for one of my businesses that became a really well recognized business around Latin America. I'm from Argentina and most South America. People that are in emergency care have heard about our training facility. So imagine that. Now 23 years with that business, and now also I have started as a unique way, as another business, because I used to do coaching and helping people with their mindset when I was doing the other business. But then 7 years ago, I decided to start another business and do that outside of the business. Every people that were coming to our courses, I would help them with mindset. I then took that and started helping people all around the world that had nothing to do with emergency care. And that's what I've been doing now for 7 years too, full time or full or a little bit of full time on both. So the truth is, would really help me face the challenges of the different endeavors, the different type of businesses that I try to move forward with. Whenever we face a challenge, if we don't deal with our mindset correctly, because a lot of people think that it's all about saying positivity. A lot of people think that just by, visualization, gratitude is going to solve their problem. But it doesn't work for most people. So if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting the same results. So it's really understanding what's going on. So imagine that you're self-sabotaging. Instead of beating yourself for self-sabotaging, beating yourself for procrastinating, beating yourself for perfectionism, beating yourself for whatever is going on, try to understand, why is this happening? I need to go into loving and accepting of what is, because if I understand that behind that behavior, there's a part of me that is trying to protect itself, now I can start dealing with that. So there's a part of Tommy that is protecting himself from something. That's why he's procrastinating. Imagine that, right? So what is it protecting himself from? So imagine I got to do videos. Okay, so what happens if I do the videos? And most people say like, oh, no, nothing happens. I just do the videos, but I'm not posting them. Okay, what would happen if you post them? And for every person, it's unique. Some people might say, oh, what if nobody sees it? So their biggest fear is that nobody's going to see them. They're going to feel unseen. So then something might have happened during childhood that made them feel unseen. So now they're not taking action that could expose them to not feel seen again. And other people I work with, they tell me, what if I get a negative comment? And normally they don't put it out there just like that. They're like, I don't know why I'm not just putting the videos out there. I don't know, it might be that I don't like the video. There's something that needs to change. I need a better camera. And they put all these excuses. But at the end, as they start opening up, as we work together, they start realizing that they're not putting the videos out because they're worried what other people are going to say. They're worried about what other people are going to say. So we need to start working on that. So what happened during childhood when you were growing up, on how people interacted with you? Were you bullied? Were you judged, criticized, rejected as a kid? Because that could cause these protective mechanisms of not letting me get out there and expose myself and be doing this video right now and, letting people comment negative things if they want to. And I have lots of social media because I have different niches. I have people that I help with, mindset, loving themselves, self-esteem, confidence. I help people with leadership. I work with leaders. I work with people with their business in Spanish, in English. I have my other business about leadership in Spanish, emergency care in Spanish. So I have so many social medias. I have different tools that I can manage them very easily. But the truth is, I have all of this exposure and I get haters everywhere you look. You're going to find some type of haters. Does that speak about me? No, it speaks about them. There's a lot of people in pain that want to judge others, criticize others, try to bring people down to their level so that they can feel better. That's on them, not on me. But I used to hide much more before. But now, seriously, I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, in English, in Spanish, in different niches. Seriously, I got all that going on. And I do videos on different topics for different niches. And yes, there are people that are going to judge me, criticize, or reject me. But what they are revealing is how I am judging, criticizing, and rejecting myself. Because there's nothing that hurts more than your self-judgment, criticism, rejection. And all people that I work with, they're like, but Tommy, I don't judge myself. Okay, I hear you. Let me ask you some questions, let's blah, and we start going deeper. And as we go deeper, and I kind of trick the mind, quote unquote, I start asking different questions. Eventually, most of them, when they open up, they start accepting that they do judge themselves, that they're worried about what people might say. I was working once with a guy that he would say, but Tommy, I don't care what people say. Seriously, Tommy, I don't care what people say. And he would repeat it several times. And that for me is already alarming. When somebody repeats several times, oh, I don't care what people say. But tell me, I don't care what people say. He was trying to convince me and himself that he didn't care. But suddenly we started going deeper because he wasn't posting videos. So tell me a bit more. So what happens if you post? And he's like, yeah, I don't want to bother people. Okay, so what is bothering people? Oh, if people see so many videos of mine, once a week, once every day, once every couple of days, they might think that, I'm bothering them. Oh, so they might think that you're bothering them, that they're bothered by you. So they might think that. But you said at the beginning that you didn't care what other people might think. And the person's eyes open like that, and he's like, holy shit, I do care what people say. Yeah, exactly. If you're not doing something for your business, there is some type of blockage subconsciously. Normally, people are not aware of this. That needs to be addressed. So many people go to one program to the other to try to find the missing piece as they need to learn some new method, webinars, VSLs, doing, landing pages, doing, organic marketing, paid marketing, doing, giving away free stuff, lead magnets. People think that they got to learn this new tactic, whatever, to get the business on the ground. And don't get me wrong, they're all good. I still have webinars running and people see it and they end up talking to me, and some people close to work with me. I got organic marketing. I have paid marketing. I have lead magnets. I have many things running in the background to get people to get to know me more, than to nurture them and to be interested in working with me. But to get there, I need to work on my biggest asset or my biggest quote unquote enemy. And it's not my enemy, it's my biggest protector. It's not your enemy. Although it's behaving like an enemy, it's your biggest protector. The more you go against, the more you go into war with your biggest protector, the less you're going to be able to take your business off the ground. We need to start seriously falling in love with the different parts of us that are protecting us. One of the things that I teach is how to connect with unconditional love. It's a very different concept. It's something that we're not used to, but we need to start normalizing. Because as I always teach, the ego runs under these two premises. It is seeking for love or numbing the pain of the lack of love. That is it. Seeking for love or numbing the pain of the lack of love. That is it. Nothing more. Seriously, that is it. So if you understand that a lack of love created this alternative of you, another version of you to try to survive as a kid, what that part of you needs is love and acceptance, understanding. And that's what I teach. Unconditional love and understanding connect together. Imagine unconditional love on this side, understanding on this side, and the infinite sign between them. As I understand myself more, I love myself more. As I love myself more, I open up to more understanding. As I understand myself more, I love myself deeply, more deeply. As I understand, I open up to more love, I open up to a deeper understanding. And that continues going, and I start going deeper and deeper into my being to dissolve who I'm not to become who I truly am. I believe that we're spiritual beings living a human experience, and we're meant for greatness and not just, making money, having a successful business, because when you die and you go to the other side, you're not going to take out any of that. So that is secondary. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But that is secondary. First, we need to work on this. Identifying the different limiting negative and false beliefs, our unresolved issues, our protective mechanisms, love and accept those parts of me, and the shields of protection is going to start dissolving, and you're going to be able to show yourself more authentic, more your true self. And people are going to connect more with that. You're going to connect with yourself more, and that's you're going to connect more with people. And I've seen it in all these 17 years that I've been doing this work for myself and working with thousands of people around the world. So if this has resonated, if you want to know more, write the word free, and we'll share free training with more insight and tools on how the mind works and how to start being able to align it to work for you instead of against you, to dissolve the protective mechanisms that are holding you and your business back. So if you want to know more, just write the word free underneath on the comments. Let me know what you think about this. If you're watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching replay, write the word hashtag replay. I would love to hear from you. If you have some comments, leave them under there and read them later. The idea is to, share insight and tools that can help you understand truly what's happening behind whatever you're struggling on the outside with your business. So the number one business destroyer is the incorrect mindset. We need to align the mind to work for you and see how things start changing. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great week. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you next time.